I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day. I get one down in a second if you wait. I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day. I get one down in a second if you wait. Sometimes I think sitting on trains. Every step I get to, I'm clocking that game. Everyone's a winner, we're making our fame. Bonafide hustler, making my name. Sometimes I think sitting on trains. Every step I get to, I'm clocking that game. Everyone's a winner, we're making our fame. Bonafide hustler, making my name. All I wanna do is take your money. 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 Pirates, skulls and bones, sticks and stones and weed and bombs, running when we hit 'em. Lethal poison for the system. Pirates, skulls and bones, sticks and stones and weed and bombs, running when we hit 'em. Lethal poison for the system. No one on the corner has swagger like us. Hit me on my banner, prepaid wireless. We pack and deliver like UPS trucks. Already going hell, just pumping that gas. No one on the corner has swagger like us. Hit me on my banner, prepaid wireless. We pack and deliver like UPS trucks. Already going hell, just pumping that gas. All I wanna do is take your money. 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 MIA, third world democracy. Yeah, I got more records than the KGB. So, no funny business. You already are. All I wanna do is take your money. All I wanna do is take your money. All I wanna do is take your money. All I wanna do is take your money.
Sailors breaking down on a camel's back. shit, I'm stepping in harder this year. Yeah, been rapping in harder this year. Watch me as I gravitate. Ha 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 ha. Yo, we gon' ghost town, this Motown with your sound. You in the blink, gon' bite the dust, can't fight with us. With your sound, you kill the ink. So don't stop, get it until you chat ahead and watch the way I navigate.
Sweetheart is bleeding in the snow cone. So smart, she's leading me to ozone. Music, the great communicator. Used two sticks to make it in the nature. I'll get you into penetration. The gender of a generation. The birth of every other nation. Look your way to go to meditation. This chapter's gonna be a close one. Smoke rings, I know you're gonna blow one. All on a spaceship persevering. Use my hands for everything but steering. Can't stop the spirits when they need you. Mob tops are happy when they feed you. J butterflies in the treetop. Birds that blow the meaning in the meatball. The world I love, the tears I drop. To be part of the wave can't stop. Ever wonder if it's all for you? The world I love, the trains I hop. To be part of the wave can't stop. Come and dictionary. This life is more than ordinary. Can I get you maybe even 3 of these? Coming from a space to teach you of the Pleiades. Can't stop the spirits when they need you. This life is more than just a read through.
Just a moment right before all the sun ends. Wasn't brave enough to tell you, but there ain't gonna be another chance. It's not one until and everything's still. The minutes are racing. Whatever I've done, I did it for love. I did it for fun. Couldn't get enough. I did it for fame, but never for money. Not for houses, not for her, not for my future children. Until now. How could I love again? How could I ever ask for more? And to the road ahead, into a life I can't ignore. How could I love again? How can I walk this path for sure? With no more time to spend, I know the answer more and more. As long as I can, long as I can, spend some time alone.
What's up, guys? All right. What's happening? What was that banger playing just now? Let's see. 1 more hour, I'm assuming. That's the one. By Tame. Oh, yeah. All right, what's up? D Trading, Sen. Hello, hello. Jesus, Jose Alessandro. Oh, yeah. So good. The whole album is really, really, really good. All right, what's up, Corey? What's good, Edgar, Luis, Diego, Greg? Enjoy your coffee. Mrs. Jones, what's up, Gonzala? Yudaneth, Mateo. What's good, bro? Harshi, I see we got Amy and Seth and Joe and Vaughn. Nos días, mi carnal. Let's go, Edwin. Sun Dolce. Yo, Grand Rising. What's up, Noah? All right, guys. So let's get into it. You guys already saw my my journaling from yesterday regarding like the sell on YM, the sell on NQ. Yesterday I was about to go to sleep, and then from the other room I hear an alert here. I was like falling asleep, and I tried. I saw it. I'm like, ooh. By the time I got to my setup, the market was already trading a little bit higher, so I wasn't able to get into this one. Would have been a nice trade right here. Could have been a good one. but here we are. Now, with that being said, I do believe we have some opportunity here anyways, despite this already kind of playing out over here. It mitigated this, but we do see a nice liquidity sweep here. So just to give you guys my point of view with indices today, we end up clearing a significant amount of New York session liquidity and Asian session liquidity. We get our low here, and at this point, we see the market clear out, retail buyers work its way all the way down to here. And then not only does the market continue bullish, but we end up trading above these previous highs, and we maintain this price action for the last 4 hours and change. So big picture, we finally cracked below this low here briefly before coming right back up. We're not necessarily seeing a shift in momentum yet on the 1 hour. On the can't see the time and date now. Oh, okay, I'll make the adjustments. All right, I won't really be able to change it right now in real time, but you'll be able to kind of see what's going on over here. I should be able to actually, you know what? Give me a second. Let's see. Can I? Oh, nope. All right, yeah, I'm going to have to work on that later. But either way, I mean, I'll narrate the time and everything. It's just not really a big deal. So over here at this low, we're looking at Tuesday, November 18th, 10 a.m. So yesterday's New York session clears this. I'll add this will make it easier, so you know kind of where we're at. And from this area, you do see the market play into it during Tokyo lows and rally. So if we're looking at structure, the market still isn't necessarily bullish on the 15-minute either. We have lower lows, lower highs. We work our way down to here. So this is kind of the 15-minute structure that we're seeing. However, we're continuously losing momentum every time the market tries to get under 24,500. Nope, comes right back up. So I do like an opportunity for reversal here. The most ideal setup would be to take a position over here. So let's say like a buy, maybe like right there. Could even take it a little lower, a couple points lower. And then targeting within this session is great, or even just clearing out London highs. Now, the reason my thought process here is to at least trade within the range is since the higher time frames are bearish still, like the 1 hour, the 4 hour. If we don't want to go against the recent momentum, then just kind of trading within the zone has a high probability for your exits. Even here, this would be getting a higher high on the 5-minute, but not necessarily the 15. So either way, I think we can go in the right direction. And so when it comes to like, okay, what's this going to look like? Let's see here. 1 second, guys. All right. So here, if we're going to set up the risk reward to this scenario, now I'm on MNQ. Then I'm looking at an entry right around here. So here's where we've seen tons of support. Buy limit. Assuming that NQ stays the most bullish or the least bearish. So we got our stops under here. And then we'd have, whoa, that's not what I want to do. So like right there, TP. Conservative, like I mentioned, is playing within this range. And then you can set your risk right here. So here, taking 4 contracts would be risking like $468 per account. So now before I make a decision, and I'm not, for the trade copier to work, it won't trigger if I just have it on here. So you guys will see this pop up after, like once it triggers on my end. But so let me make sure I want to set this up right now. Okay, so we're with New York Open. Obviously, momentum is starting to kick in. Let's take a look at S&P and Dow. Now, for Dow, this is similar idea. I think it's easier to track this if we're looking at it from this point of view. So if we're looking at it from here. All right, fib. Right now we're seeing the market chilling around 38 to 50% on NASDAQ. And then when we look at Dow, Dow is definitely a bit more bearish. We're looking at a pullback sitting at roughly 618 already, was just below 618 and 786. Now this is for this smaller time frame. You know what we're looking at here. I wouldn't be surprised if Dow ends up taking this low, London low, or the Tokyo low. Yesterday, if you guys remember, I was wanting to see Dow go lower based off of the higher time frame. So I had potential buys down here. Airbnb alert. I don't remember what that alert might have been. Okay, so let me play with this real quick. All right, so now Dow's working its way into that zone already. So it's first mover to get into that lower level. And Q still chilling way up here, building up liquidity from London session. So there's support here. Typical. You usually get a little bounce or something like that. Lures in more retail buys. All right, that's all good. I'm looking for this bad boy to push a little lower. And then that would drag Dow lower as well. So let's see what we got here. Not looking at gold right now. That setup that we have from the other day on gold, though, looks good. It's just a matter of time more than anything. All right, so take a look at this. Dow immediately actually plays out of that lower zone. So Dow successfully mitigates, or we had liquidity. So it takes out these lows, the sweep down, the market kind of struggles to stay bullish, and then drops right into this imbalance and mitigates. So this already does the thing. Okay. Meanwhile, NQ still holding up by this 38.2 pullback. And Dow is sitting still at about a 50% retracement. So a lot of momentum, a lot of shift. I'm not going to force, like, you know, obviously we're not chasing a buy on Dow or anything like that. Just waiting, just staying very patient. Okay, now the question is after that, are there sells? Is there a selling opportunity that we could be keeping in mind here? And I don't necessarily love any sells with Dow anywhere within this range. And I'll give you some 1 minute time frames here, but even during London, I mean, we pump up here, we drop. This structure I'm not really sold on yet, so I wouldn't sell within this London session right now. I'm not convinced that we have strong selling. You do see during, what is this, about 2 hours ago, a pump up to here, but then the market drops, rebalances, and continues bearish again. So I don't really like any setups here. Yesterday, Vaughn brought up this big move to the upside that clears up some of New York session liquidity before it drops, but it doesn't really clear the entire consolidation. So I think we could go even higher still, and that kind of brings us to this area. So for example, we never got back up to here, where here we had sideways movement, liquidity. Market really goes to the upside during London session. This is Tuesday. And then from here, we see the market kind of drop down without really ever coming back. So seeing a sell within this range, that I totally understand. But it does come down to how we get to this level. So potential idea all the way up there. Otherwise, kind of just going to wait it out for the buy on NQ. This is the one that's like just the most obvious to me at the moment. We never know. Price action might switch up on us. But yeah, this one just makes a lot of sense to me. So let me just share this one. Let's get a nice little chart going. All right, so we got today's setups. All right, indices. NQ. Okay. All right. I already posted this one, so you guys, if you have charts that you're looking at, drop them right here in this one. And then I'll probably stay editing this throughout the session too. Adobe. Oh, Adobe alerts. Okay. Sick. This one, I've been waiting a while for this one. Going back to the COVID mitigation, actually. Reversals out of this zone are basically over 100% potential, maybe less if you want to trade it into like this. 62%. Interesting. With more stocks getting into these levels, I had to reevaluate this on a fundamental perspective, but okay, nice. Yeah, so as of right now, let's just say we get a reversal. The nice thing is we could trade this into this imbalance. And at least at the moment with NASDAQ, we're creating a nice little trend line liquidity kind of throughout this zone. It just looks like a lot of retail just looking to sell all across here. like I mentioned, I do understand possible sells. Like here you see the push up before the drop. It's just not my favorite type of trade though. Like this move up here with Dow. This is after Tokyo highs get swept. This is one last push up before it drops aggressively. So yes, there kind of is an order block right here, like a nice pump, and then it just bleeds out. We've been trading below this low for 36 minutes or so. So not my favorite setup, but I wouldn't be surprised if it reversed out of like this area here. But it's not something I'm going to take. All right, so NQ. All right, we'll wait on that. Now let's go look at some metals. Let's go look at, see if we got anything interesting here. Any nice setups. So what we end up seeing is we do end up validating the buys. So silver here and gold, after taking out these lows, they're doing a great job trading above these previous highs over here. So this traded above for about an hour, a few hours, and then came crashing right back down into this imbalance. So this was finally so you had the lower low, the higher low. So you get something like this. All right, so you have structure here. And then you get the lower low there. And at this point, we do finally get a bullish point of structure here. So we break above. Now what I want to know is, is this going to maintain itself and we can count on bullish demand, an uptrend now moving forward? Or is this just the liquidation, the rebalance, and the market just crashes? So that's kind of where we're at right now. So this does still look like a possible play. It's just a matter of, okay, how much demand are we going to get here? So I'm down to see this and see where we go with this. So here's silver. Of course, guys, I'm going to share both silver and gold. And when we take these, we are looking at, or at least I'm looking at trading the lagger. So here's silver. NASDAQ starting to clear this liquidity here. Almost breaking above London highs. And now look at this. Dow is holding up pretty well. The more that happens, the more I feel like we are going to end up reversing out of here. Like somewhere over here. This isn't a full risk trade or anything like that. I'm not going to take it, but I feel like it's going to end up rejecting this right there. All right, so here's silver. Pushing pretty nicely. If we take a look at gold, on the other hand, gold is not as aggressively moving to the upside. So, for example, if you like, here was the gold high, right? This is Friday, November 14th, and that's New York session high. So we just finally cracked above that. Whereas silver has traded significantly higher than this and for longer. So most of London session we traded up here, whereas gold was real chill. Kind of barely getting above this. So at least for now, structure isn't as great here for the buy, but things can change. So here's gold. At the moment, silver looks like a better buy since it's traded higher to the upside, creating more demand. Okay. All right, so interestingly enough, we're seeing a shift in momentum. So Dow is moving sideways, liquid just building up, squeezing liquidity. NQ is ripping. So NQ is currently taking out liquidity up here, trading into kind of this lower high that we saw yesterday. So you can see, if you want to look at here, this, I already have this. So I guess we can clean this up a little bit. But you saw a huge move up here yesterday towards the end of New York session, and then we finally start to reverse. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some. There we go. Seeing kind of a reversal here. You see that big move up, and then it drops. A lot of squeezing here, so there are sells. There's stops definitely above these sells. So kind of seeing what we get there. But since NQ has been the most bullish, what we know now for sure is London liquidity swept with NQ. Oh, thank you. And S&P still building up liquidity. So S&P, I don't think we're going to leave this on its own. I think we're going to come and take this out. But now that S&P has swept London highs, or NASDAQ has swept London highs, S&P is about to clear out London highs. I think the game here changes a little bit. So that Dow sell that we were thinking about earlier kind of has more and more validity now. Here this looks like a kind of a distribution, right? Fails to keep the highs, comes down, fails to make the highs, drops again, fails to make these highs. So in terms of lack of demand, that's definitely the reality here. So honestly, seeing this sell out of here is making more and more sense. Especially if we have NQ pushing higher, S&P pushing higher. I'm gonna keep this on my radar. I may approach this with a half risk instead. So, like contextually, it's making sense. So let's say we traded this from like, you know, the zone over here. Here's where we've seen a decent amount of reversals, support, resistance. So I'm cool with taking a setup like, let's say right here. And then let's just say we use this as the high. And then the TP, we tackle on these lows. All right. And then all right. So I'm open to it. What was the price I just had that at? All right. So, taking another look, S&P taking out London highs, NQ doing a great job sweeping all of this liquidity. So that's check. That's all done. Trading into this zone as well. We're filling in some of this imbalance. Honestly, we may even see it take out these highs too. Because here's where you had, if anyone that was in sells here, their stops were trading around here. So that would be even greater confirmation if NQ manages to get up to here while that triggers. So, okay, we'll keep that in mind. Order failed. All right. Just double checking everything here. Okay. So metals wise for buys, talked about them. The other thing that we should keep in mind too is are there sells or are there quality sell opportunities for Dow? There's clearly inefficiencies over here. So gold moving up into this imbalance. When the market trades into imbalance and you have, this is a setup that I don't have enough data with, but I know you guys have seen it plenty of times if you've just studied a lot of smart money or Wyckoff, where you see liquidity, where you see like these previous reversal levels in imbalance and order block. You can see plays out of this. So like here, for example, think about this on the way down. The market is bullish at this point. It meets some support, and here it creates a bullish move. So this starts to lure in buyers. Oh, look, support. Now it's going, and then it just tanks. So when we see something like this, this is typically where, you may see reversals. I don't have enough data over time to give this to personally execute something like this. This would require a lot more work. So this is where I would have, let's say, an exit if I was going to buy or something like that. Could look for it in there. But outside of that, if we're looking at just previous structure, where could this start to lose some momentum? I'm not really looking too much at selling gold. The highs over here are basically equal highs. And then all the way up here, yes, we do clear out these retail sellers and then start to drop. So, yeah, I'm not necessarily too dialed in on anything here. The big sell, it would be way, way, way up here. High, like this is macro time frame for shorts. All right, got some updates here. Dow already starting to drop again. So look at the difference. Before this got into like that zone that we liked, started to bleed out, played into the imbalance of this like 2 minutes after New York Open. You guys saw when it tanked, played into this area where there's like little to no demand. So now Dow played down here again, and it happened a little bit faster than I would have expected. But typically, this is not really a trade I could take. I understand the imbalance and then playing out of where we've seen a lot of support in the past. It's okay. But yeah, not necessarily like a trade idea per se. And as you guys can see, more and more bullish momentum for NASDAQ here. Approaching all of this liquidity, this sideways movement that built up during yesterday's second half of New York session. This might even take out New York highs too. Meanwhile, while this is doing all of that, now IM is starting to come back up in this range. So if we are going to take a lower risk short on this potential because of the low demand that was over here, when you're taking a position, your entry and your risk obviously matter, but your risk to reward are very important. So in my opinion, trading just within the range gives us really high probability exits. So I think trading just within this zone is probably going to be the best case. Just a light 2R or something like that could be a value here. I will add though, we do have a lot of liquidity here. So the more we zoom out, right, and we keep more of the market into context, look at what's starting to happen here. Trend line. Liquidity is building up. So we're getting closer and closer to ideas over here. Okay. And also, we have NASDAQ that's now officially taken out yesterday's New York highs. Yeah, I saw a little dip here. Not really my trade to take right here with the lower setup, but it's looking good. And now New York highs have been cleared. Tuesday's London session, which has not been swept yet, right over here, would be also, it seems like it's going to be a likely push that the market's seeing. Meanwhile, Dow is fighting for its life to stay in this consolidation. So I like this idea more. And honestly, I think we break the trend line. I think we break below, below this. So I'm with it. All right. And then going into, I know we had silver too. I just wanted to bring up if there was any other, sell opportunities that we could be missing out on or anything like that here with silver. And the big idea here with silver, but you'll have to give me a second because we are now coming up here again. So just in case you guys wanted to take this position, we're now getting into approaching the zone. Here is the actual entry. Okay. So now here's where we see that last move up before everything drops. There might be a possibility if this starts to bleed out without us, then I'm just going to delete the order. This is about a 50, 60 point move. So if that were to happen, let's say it drops 60 points, cool, I delete it. As of right now, we're about 20 points out from at least this entry. And I am taking half risk on this trade. Just dinging all over the place. All right. Now with this NQ alert, where does that bring us to? Now we've taken, awesome, London sessions liquidity from Tuesday, starting to play more into this imbalance, into Monday's imbalance. Great. Okay. So tons and tons and tons and tons of liquidity. Guys, what happens to the market when there's a enormous amount of liquidity that's swept up? What can happen afterwards? If there's just a ton of liquidity, typically you're able to get a very strong, there's the opportunity for a big reversal. So more than likely, I don't even think we just crack this low. If it does go our way, I think we end up, I think I just got triggered. I think we end up cracking well below that. All right, so we're in this. This is just one of the accounts, but yeah, from here we'll see how it goes. And then, as you guys know, I'm looking for a target way down here. And then, actually, my stop is over here. But I think we can get all the way cracking below at least like these lows. So let's see what happens. Right now, we're getting still, honestly, quite a lot of momentum to the upside. Here, let's see what we have. NQ. S&P sweeping liquidity. Fantastic. NASDAQ up above all of this liquidity as well. Within this imbalance, it's got potentials for reversal. Nothing else I can do from here. We do have this giant zone, this mega zone here from NQ. What was it, Monday? So Monday you have the giant push up here, and then you have the smaller like push in this area. Maybe we get into here. Right now, not getting too much of a reversal yet. So pretty close. Let's see, about I think 30 points of drawdown so far on the idea. What is that? About 20 points, 30 points of stop available still. We'll see. See if it holds up. If it does push down, one of the things that I do like about if it does go in our direction is look at all of this here. So like if it does happen to drop and it plays out, there's just so much imbalance to come to fill. So that is a good upside in terms of reversals. So not a bad deal here. At this point, since the entry wasn't the greatest, if we were to, let's say, for example, just start to drop and play into like this structure or imbalance, whatever, let's just say that we get a chance at this, then I would tighten up my stop. And I want you guys to be able to like witness what it's like to lose or reduce loss, break even, win. Not here to play around. And I don't know if you guys even took this. Like this, you guys, like I mentioned, this was not so much a signature play, like a mitigation play or a shakeout play. It was the divergence was massive between these. And then not only that, but seeing what's it called? The lack of demand in these areas and then the divergence. So for me, this felt like there was just very little demand once it took out these highs, and it was just like a trap here for buyers over and over again. So if not, then cool, is what it is. Honestly, Vaughn, your idea is looking better and better every time. So we shall see, my friends. We shall see. Because this is one that Vaughn here, he saw like the sweep above. The New York highs that we didn't clear, that does kind of bother me. So even though we do see a massive move up here before the drop. So I think this is more of a personal preference. If you end up taking a trade over here, I would probably wait until like 46,400 if we get up here. So yeah, now we wait and see. To give a little bit of perspective, NQ not dropping a ton, still trading within this range over here. So got all the way up to this imbalance and this order block here. Maybe we get a reversal. Maybe this goes our way. All right, who's just stayed out of this one? This isn't a signature one, so I that's why I was like, you know what, guys, don't even trip on this one. Got stopped out. Okay. Cool. Do you think USDJPY will get up to January high? I'd have to take a look still. Buenas, buenas. 46,000 on US30 double bottom. I think we get down there. Yeah. Sorry, no signal, not built like that. That's funny. Got the shakeout on Dow for my first 3R. Nice, nice. Yeah, so that's what here when we swept this, came back up. The reason this happened really quickly, but I briefly mentioned it, was I didn't have the conviction because Dow was just not leading the bull run here, today's bull run. So I was like less convicted on it. But yeah, I'm glad you took it. Awesome. Clean. This is very, very clean. And off it goes. So, I mean, honestly, Dow is still just kind of fighting for this. We are starting to see NQ lose a little bit of steam. And if it does, I mean, it's got a long way to go. So this timing kind of just is going to either prove that the move to the upside here is confirming bullish structure overall. This also gives this buy tons of validity here for the future. But if this stays bullish like this, then cool. You know, the buy makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, the other case scenario is that this loses a lot of steam and then the market, at least maybe Dow, still wants to push lower. So we shall see, my friends. Dow here hanging on for dear life. Questions to ask yourself. Let's just say, for example, that you're in this, right? Are you nervous right now? Are you attached in any way? If this loses, what types of consequences, feelings does that have for you? Think about that as you're watching, whether it's your P&L go up and down, or you're watching just in any example, because this is just kind of, it gives you clues on what parts of the process you maybe did properly or you did improperly. So let's say right now you're like, oh my God, like if this doesn't win, like I'm screwed. Okay, cool. That goes to show that we need to work on discipline with risk specifically. If you're just like, well, like, no, the loss amount is fine, but I just hate losing. All right, that goes to show our expectations, like what we think good trading is, it might be skewed. So these are all different elements that we want to keep in mind. And then you're able to just start to either change the way you think, change the way you risk, your expectations per a trade, etc. What's the number 3 thing? It's because you're active in the chat, I believe. You're now crowned number 3 on the leaderboard. Had nothing to do with me. You earned it, man. You earned that crown right there. Hey, Mike. Tradevate prop is the one you log in to on TradingView, and Project X is on its own little browser, right? Yeah. Yeah, Project X is like its own browser. It basically looks just like TradingView. It's like the same thing. A lot of props use that one. Yeah. Said, sheesh, I'm going to stop yapping. Hey, man, yap away. Yap away. Okay, so while, you know, Dow is just chilling here, like refusing to make up its mind, NQ had actually pushed even higher while Dow is staying kind of within the zone. So whatever, we'll just see what happens there. What we can do now is go look at majors. Actually, you know what? Let's look at oil real quick. And then I need to change the contract, right? CLF now in oil from all my oil traders. 4 hour, big sweep. We're now closed on the 4 hour here. Do we create demand and then get a nice little reversal out of here somewhere? It's possible. It's possible. Huge move up, loses momentum, comes up again, borderline equal highs, and then choppiness. Here's that last push up before this thing just bleeds out. I don't love it. I don't hate it. The issue isn't the entry, because I see the push up here and you can get a decent entry. It's where do you want to place your stop? Like, where are you willing to place it so you don't get stopped out of this? I like it maybe up here. I could see a short out of here, but I'm not in love with it. All right, that's fine. Let's go take a look at more of the majors. At least with Swiss franc, this thing is just bleeding out. Going crazy over here. I think I'm about to get stopped out on Dow. It looks like it. Check it out. We were kind of seeing this little 1 minute range, right? So it just took out that liquidity. Unless this is it and then just wanted to build liquidity and then crash. If that's the case, man, that's hilarious. That was like 5 points away. Maybe. Oh, hey. Hey, Nas. You want to drop down? Come hang out over here. Yeah. Just, you know, work your way all the way down. The more the merrier. Okay. Swiss franc bleeding out. Doesn't look like we're going to get this soon. So I guess we wait. You know, I thought we were going to get away with it, but it came right back up. Oh, come on, man. I thought you were going to hook us up. What was that, 1 point away? 2 points? There we go. All right, trade's over. Okay, so half our loss on this one. Not a big deal. What I'm curious about now is... Okay. So we end up coming back here, and there looks like opportunity here with NQ and or YM. So let's look at this from a different perspective, right? We're seeing NASDAQ trading near Monday's Asian session highs here. So that's what we have here. So NASDAQ clearing this would be, clearing liquidity here. So this would be a sell that I would be looking at, specifically with NASDAQ. However, Dow is lagging way behind. So Dow over here is not even near Monday price action, not even close. That's where this setup here from yesterday comes into play. And this is where you have that last pump up here before it drops. So this is like the last catalyst before everything. And when we were on our syndicate session yesterday, I brought up, or Vaughn brought up this sell order. And my response was, I don't really like it too much because of the New York highs right here. So I'm not in love with this idea. However, we do have extra confirmations right now, which is that we're about to approach a mitigation zone for NASDAQ. So if the market wanted to reverse, it's getting pretty damn close. And you have the same thing here with S&P. So, yeah, that's kind of the perspective. I could see everything kind of lining up together. Typically is a good sign for reversals. right, so I'm not going to pull the trigger on this unless we get into these selling pockets here for NQ. If that's the case, then I'm more open to it. So I'm gonna hold up. I think S&P could sweep liquidity here. So S&P sweeps these highs, starts getting into imbalance, and Q gets into that mitigation zone. And if all of that lines up with Dow, all right, cool. You know what? You don't have to bend my arm. I'll take another half risk, especially if like 2 L's is 1 R down. I'm there all day. All day. So with this, I mean, right now, if I were to just kind of pinpoint where I think we can get some reversals, I think we're going to get something around here. I'm not pulling the trigger yet. I just want to know like roughly where I'm at with these positions. So like, what would it take? This is what, like 46.389. And this is how I'm able to make decisions faster, because I already have the contracts basically already like mentally prepared. That's NQ getting to the mitigation zone. All right. Another 10 cons potentially. Okay. All right, so NQ in the zone now. Cool. Not pulling the trigger yet, but I am getting closer. S&P almost clearing these highs. I wanted to clear this first, and then that gives me a green light for this setup. Yeah, that's how you're feeling right now? Nance is on her YMCA vibes right now. What the fuck? All right. Just switch up the vibe. Okay. So, yeah, this is basically the idea. And then what I'm going to do while we have that kind of cooking up here was I can start to journal the YM loss. So look at that there. You guys can't see the screen, I don't think. How can I do this? All right, so I am short. All right, S&P now hit the alert. Okay. So check this out. S&P now just poked into it. I can go a little higher. This is not enough. We need a little more. Poquito más. Yeah, I think we pump a little bit more. Where does that have NASDAQ right now? NASDAQ's in the zone. Ooh, it could mitigate already. Excuse me. So, starting to see a little bit of a reversal already. NQ took this out clean, playing into the zone, starting to drop a bit. S&P traded exactly basically to this, just like barely poking above. I mean, come on. So brief. That's kind of annoying, I'm not going to lie. You would imagine it would crack above it significantly more before giving the reversal that it's getting right now. I'm going to hold off. No need to chase this. I think we can push a little higher. There's more liquidity to grab there. So I'm gonna wait. If it just bleeds out, then it bleeds out. But yeah, because this was the order, so we were just a little shy for now. And Q doing a good job, kind of reversing out of this zone. The mitigation for this is about, what's it, 84, 85 points. So this would have to drop for me to like, all right, let me just scratch this whole idea, something like this. But yeah, wow, this is really tanking. Technically, this would have to drop, honestly, a lot more for it to be fully mitigated, but it could. If we have S&P make another move up and clear it, then I'm down to pull the trigger. But for now, yeah, I'm staying out of this. Big move down, though. Big move down. Anyone pull the trigger? Anyone take that short? Vaughn, are you in this trade? I have a way higher zone on my chart. 1 minute institutional candle. Where? Are you on CFD's chart, or is price just looking different for you? So my stuff is set up on. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So we were looking at Swiss franc. Nothing there. This we're just building off from yesterday. So leave this one, this idea open. This is definitely a possibility later on. So let me just add that to our list here. So 6S, this is Swiss. After this chart, I'll take a look at what you guys have sent me to. I know I'm neglecting you guys here. All right, Alfredo, what's up, bro? Yeah, same setup. Oh, what are the chances? Nice. Veo lo mismo. Esto veo con oro. Bro, tienes buenos ojos. ¿Dónde aprendiste? Still never seen this movie. Okay, no one else here? All right. Okay, S&P coming back. All right. See, I wanted to go higher. I might take a trade lower than this, and I'll have to dial back my contracts. Because it looks like if S&P is going to push to this area, I don't know if we're going to make it to the original zone I had here. It's looking good, though. Liquidity sweep with London pulling right back in. Could be a shakeout, too. Could very much be a shakeout play. Okay. Let it ride. Australian, same idea, similar to Swiss franc. All right. Man. We really got missed by a little bit, huh? That's sad. Okay. All right, so reevaluating with Dow, the move to the upside was a big move here. this was about 130 points. Right now, we've seen the market drop almost 100 here with Dow, just about 100. So basically, this thing is mitigated. It's doing the thing. Didn't trigger us in by 13 points. And at this point, my take is, especially now that we've cleared liquidity here, we had a London session, Asian session, and we traded into New York. I do think that this is a sign that there's really not a lot of bullish demand. The market didn't want to make higher highs, an uptrend. That's not the point of this. This was liquidate sellers, trap buyers, flip the script here. So now I could be open to looking for a short in this area with a tighter stop. If you're looking at this from S&P's point of view, this is kind of holding up a bit better. And then if you're looking at it from NASDAQ's point of view, this is still not even fully like mitigated or anything like that. So I'll keep my eye out on what this keeps doing. I could see S&P go higher still. And then let's say if S&P gets up to here, and that sets up Dow as well for a short, that'd be fantastic. Oh, yeah. Did anyone manage to sneak into Dow a little earlier than me? Same as on is like 50 points. Check school. I saw my entry on there. This was like the same trade I think you had. Vaughn. You had yours a little bit higher too. Okay, I can't really see what you have, like what's going on right now, unless this was it. Okay. Well, yeah, looks like it missed us, man. Better luck next time. Okay. NZD still bleeding out. No trades. CAD futures, we saw it mitigate here. We weren't looking for anything new. And then ends up making another push higher, possibly looking for a setup here. Now, you guys maybe noticed how it spiked down and then rallied. The reason I won't look for a buy here, I know some of you may want to take something like in here, right? But the reason I'm not is because of this here. This right here did not confirm demand. So we would have wanted this to go like this instead. That was not the case. So because this failed, I don't have the same confidence that this would give us a good bounce. Maybe a small bounce, but how far it goes, not so in love with. I would prefer taking a position down here. So this is kind of like a failed higher high. This looks more like distribution to possible sells. But the other thing too is if you look at the rest of the majors, everything is dropping, but CAD was a lot more bullish relative to everything else. So I prefer to just kind of take the buys on this. For example, like the lows was from November 6th. Everything else is already trading basically at that same price already. CAD futures is way up here. So I'd much rather take positions here, whether it's like somewhere in here and then let this thing ride. So yeah, I would prefer buys like in this range instead. So CAD futures, here's the chart. $6C. This is the equivalent of USD CAD, but flipped upside down. Okay. There it is. Anyone else have any charts here Feel free to share them. So what I'm going to do here in a little bit, once we finish the majors, and I realized yesterday we didn't look at crypto, but I do want to just kind of journal some of this with you guys live. The entry that this the minus half RL, and then the setup that missed us. All right, Euro. We see a sweep here. Could be part of the distribution, rejecting last point of supply, and then over here as well. So both setups. This is very similar to kind of to like that cat futures buy. If we're bleeding out to here, the timing's going to matter, right, on when or if I take this. Okay. Yeah, document it. You have to. It's how you're going to get feedback faster. Guys, the number one way I believe you get better at trading is getting feedback faster. That's how we built the syndicate. Get feedback faster. You learn so much faster. And you're getting feedback from the right source. Okay. The yen, man, this thing is going crazy. Where is this thing? Contract switch on this soon. Let me just look at 6J. The rolling here. Oh, yeah. Ooh, reversals potential. Here, maybe somewhere in here. Interesting. Yen swings. They got potential. Honestly, I think we're going to go lower, though. Basically, liquidity here. All right, I'm going to have some alerts on the yen. This might be worth a nice little swing opportunity here. So this might be a short-term reversal. So let's say we go back to where price was trading out of over here. This is back in January. Back in January, you see the huge sweep that pushed down, and that gets over to these lows. So like you have this over here. So here's the low. If we go left, we notice, okay, we're not technically equal lows, but pretty damn close. When it sweeps here and then rallies, is this a mitigation or is this just building up more liquidity? This looks more like a liquidity. You don't get a huge reversal. I could see us getting a reversal out of this. Oh, not a limit order. What is going on? All right, so somewhere out of here, I think you can get a reversal. This is where we're at in this current imbalance. So if you wanted to look into here, check it out. In this structure, there's imbalance, but there's no real entry, at least not for me. So I would definitely stay out of that. And then prior to all of this stuff, if we go even lower, this is where you had that huge move up. So market coming into this imbalance and trading out of here. Would love to see a smaller time frame thing going on this way down here, approaching 0.0063. So basically, to zoom out and give you guys the bigger picture thinking here, possible play here kind of mitigating this drop on the daily. Otherwise, you have like a small time frame looking for some sort of, liquidity buildup, capture, confirmation, and then possible swing on the yen. We got time. Honestly, got a good amount of time, so nothing to worry about. No NQ. What do you mean? Right now, let me put this here. Not in right now? No. Am I going to be live for FOMC? No. Today's FOMC, it's a recap of the last one. That's really all it is. It's not new interest rates. It's not a new press conference. So, no, I won't be live for that. I'm good. So from here, what I'm seeing now is I think we could see shorts on Dow later. So this was the missed trade. I'll just have that there like that. And then here, delete that. This has been filled. Just clean this chart up a little bit. If you look over to everything else, building up a lot of support right now. It could clear it, sweep, create tons of, take out a whole bunch of liquidity, or it just builds up more of it, and then it runs one more time, then comes for it later. So not really something I take action on right now. And then NQ is also building up liquidity sideways. So it's got more of this too. I think we end up breaking above this, probably. So yeah, possible shorts on Dow, back up here above 46,340, more than likely. I'll keep you guys posted. I want more data. I want to see more out of the market first. All right. Still waiting on pound. Nothing there yet. That basically wraps it up for majors. Everything else we've already looked at for the most part. Peso we're super far away from still. Dog, ski, just crypto in general, right? Let me pull up Bitcoin, and then we can get a good chart. So yeah, Bitcoin, in my opinion, we're still going to work our way down after this distro. So reversal level, I think we get into 85. The lowest I think we are going to see would be around 80. But this is kind of where I have in mind right now, around here. So almost there. If you're, someone that has crypto assets and you were buying over here, what has changed to now not pick up over here? So I think that's one of the big things you want to just understand about yourself is, what am I, one, how much capital am I putting in? Is it actually a reasonable amount? And then two, was I investing did I convince myself that I was investing for long term, but I really wasn't, and I was just more hopeful that it would just happen fast? Or are you just stacking up more? Are you accumulating more? Typically what you see is the best prices last for the shortest amount of time. So if you just look back when these things, crash down, they're pretty quick, a day or two, a day, it's in and out, in and out, in and out. You can go back even here, right? If we got back towards the ETF times, which was, no, that was even before that. But before elections, same thing. November, October, same thing. Elections here, same thing. Quick in and out, and then it was gone. So yeah, typically that's how these roll. It's not impossible for this to go lower. This played out of this inefficiency pretty well. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not too concerned. The reason I'm also not too concerned is because just macro-wise, I mean, interest rates, it's getting cheaper to borrow money. They're printing more money. Like, all of it fundamentally is better and better signs for this thing to go up. So, yeah, I'm not too concerned. Let's see where we're at here. All right, so low liquidity sweeps happening right now with S&P and Q here doing its thing. Remember, I don't know if we're going to get down here that quickly, but there's the buy over here. And then I don't think I reviewed this, but NQ did drop below before rallying here. This was like that New York low. So it wasn't the cleanest push down. It kind of chopped up and down and then ran. But that could be an idea here. You do take out liquidity here. Push down, and then this thing rips. Tight stop. This is pretty close. 2-3 points. Not my favorite. I like the lower zone better. And then where would we take this to? It's got a long way it could go. Anyways, with that being said, right now I think we're getting more and more confirmation for sells on Dow. It's just a matter of waiting for the market to come back up to these areas. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull up my journal, and then let's see if you guys can see it here. Get the screen capture. Properties. I think you guys see it now, right? Yeah? All right, cool. So we'll log this bad boy. First setup was this one. So I'll just add this in here. All right, so I'll just throw this guy in here. And then, so this is basically the first trade right there. So YM short, 19th, YM. This was, honestly, I mean, here's the first reason, right? I guess technically it'd been order block sell that we're looking for. We were shorting, mindset, neutral, relaxed. I was slightly uncertain. That's pretty accurate. Setup quality, yeah, I'd give it a 3. Result was a loss. And then thoughts here. Not a signature setup, but low demand and divergence. We're signaling a setup good enough for half risk. Reflection. More incentive for market to clear London highs. Risk reward here, negative 0.5. trading plan. I wouldn't say it was undisciplined. And then here is the link. Entry drawdown. Well, just terrible. Negative 1R. Exit quality. I mean, nothing. No chance. Potential RR. 0. So that was pretty easy. Nice and yeah, that's pretty simple. Cool. And then from here, let's see. So yeah, my suggestion for everybody here would be to, go ahead and make sure you're doing the same thing. Like, make sure you're putting all this down. You're documenting the trades that you're taking. It's going to be extremely valuable for you to do this. Where is this? And then we can go over also the trade that didn't play out. So I think that's good to see. So here you go. So we had YM short miss. Same thing here. Set up another short. This was mitigation. Quality. This one, entry missed. 0. Just took a half hour. So this is like, when I do this after the fact, then what I do here is, because I just replayed what I was saying in real time. So this is how I was feeling before I took the trade, right? Just took a half hour loss, not carrying over any emotion or anything. The short is based out of 1 minute mitigation, 1 minute institutional buy. Could clear New York highs, but divergence is very clear with SPX and NQ. Yes, and NQ. Well, ES liquidating highs and NQ entering its own mitigation zone. Another half hour trade for me. And then we got nothing here, right? So, and that's this idea. So I like having both. I like having the image here so I can quickly check it out, and then having the link. And then if there's something related, so for example, this YM trade was valuable because we had NQ and S&P. So I'll throw in like, okay, what was going on with both of these that gave me the green light to take this trade. So I'll throw in S&P chart and then NQ as well. Reflection. So then now, right, you can just take a look at this over here. And so the entry missed by 13 points. So I'll add that in here. Entry missed by 13 points as soon as ES just barely took out the high. Everything dropped. I expected a bit more of a liquidity clearance. before the drop. And then, as you guys, if you haven't looked at it, Dow has now fallen at this moment 200 points as of 9:48 a.m. CST. YM is down 200 points. All right. Okay. So, yeah, that kind of just gives you a little bit of perspective on how I track things with an entry missed, for example. I just put the amount, this one was a little bit less specific for me based off of prior price action. I was more focused on what the entire asset class was doing. So there's really no entry drawdown or exit quality. And then potential RR, let's say it's kind of too early, so I'll go and update this later to see that. But yeah, that kind of gives you guys a take on how I approach it. Yeah. So let me look at the chat. Cool. So now that, everyone's like, all right, cool. No more charts. Let me dip out. So do this for yourself is my suggestion. Make sure you do this. Track your stuff. Get feedback. Send your charts over so that you're getting better faster. And yeah, with that being said, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to do a session. So if you're not currently in the free community, feel free to check that out. It's very much worth it. But yeah, take care, y'all. Good session. Wish I would have snuck us into that YM short. Just missed it. We would be about almost 250 points in profit right now. So stings a little bit, but got to move on. There will be more trades. All right, guys. Catch you on the next one. Today, also remember, Nancy goes live with her crypto and stocks outlook session at 8 p.m. Central. So check out. Wait for the link in the school community. Take care, guys.